and you don't know where you are.
They were missing for hours. We're talking to a southern Kentucky family about how they survived a very cold night lost in the woods.
Lexington police stopped a man accused of drinking and driving, but they say who they found in the man's truck bed landed him in jail on some more serious charges.
Fines are piling up for people responsible for dumping radioactive waste at the Estill County landfill. We have an update on the cleanup coming up.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. An afternoon hike turned into an overnight adventure. Tonight, a southern Kentucky family is safe after spending hours lost in the woods.
Linda Sproles and her 3 children went to the Bee Rock campground in Pulaski County yesterday afternoon. But a wrong turn kept them at the campground until early this morning. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to the family about how they got through a cold night. It's our top story at 5:30.
Laura Sproles and her 3 kids ages 10 to 5 took off on what they thought was going to be a short afternoon hike at the Bee Rock campground on Sunday. First, they simply got on the wrong trail, but then it got really dark.
We ended up on no trail, and it just got dark too quick, you know, and we just had to find a place to try to stay warm.
Their adventure had started about 2 o'clock Sunday. They were supposed to be home at 6. Relatives got worried and called police, who found their car at the campground about midnight. Search and rescue teams mobilized as temperatures dipped into the 20s.
Well, I kind of felt like Daniel Boone going through the experiences, you know, because like you're like just going in the middle of nowhere and you don't know where you are.
They stopped and stayed in one place, and Addison used a light on his cell phone that emergency officials say was the key in helping to find them.
That's what led us into it. I asked one of the little girls, I said, "You're my hero," because I said, your little cell phone light was the one that brought us into where you're at.
All 4 were taken to Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital and checked out. No one was hurt, but officials say given the terrain and the temperatures, it could have ended a lot worse.
The temperature was down to 23 degrees last night, and they left just in, they all just had on blue jeans and I think maybe sweatshirts was the warmest thing they had on.
Cold and hungry, but otherwise just fine after their adventure in the woods. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The family says they did have a little bit of food and water with them, and that helped get them through the night until they were found.
Fire crews are still trying to get a handle on dozens of forest fires burning in eastern Kentucky. Forestry officials say the larger fires they've been battling for weeks are starting to burn out. The problem, though, several more fires are popping up each day. In Hardin County, one woman says she was close to losing her home last night when a fire got out of control.
They came in and they decided the best thing, because there's a lot of wood in that holler, was to backfire it. So they just backfired it all along our property here for about half, 3/4 of a mile maybe. It was a pretty good burn.
Crews say they are gaining ground on some of the fires, but the National Guard is still using Black Hawk helicopters to drop water on the flames. At last check, 70 of Kentucky's 120 counties are still under 24-hour burn bans. Firefighters are hoping Mother Nature will give them a break, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon for us. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look now at your forecast.
Yeah, and Amber, my concern later in the week is that things actually get worse for a couple of days, Thursday into Friday, as winds crank up greater than 30 miles per hour by that time. Now, the weekend will offer some relief in the form of rain, colder temperatures, and maybe a taste of wintertime. But to get there, we've got to go through several more dry days. A day that started out with freezing conditions, ending with mid and upper 50s. Our 4 live sky cams here showing great travel conditions all across the land. It's going to be a quick drop in temperatures with a mainly clear sky, and you've got the calm winds, you've got low humidities. The numbers will really drop off over the next little bit. Temperatures this evening, again, by 11 o'clock rolling around, it's mostly clear and it's chilly, upper 30s to around 40 degrees into much of central and eastern Kentucky. And that dry weather is going to roll on for several more days, but the weekend has a big time roller coaster ride with temperatures, and we'll talk about the chances for rain and maybe a touch of winter weather for the first time this year when I come back in about 10 minutes, guys.
A Lexington man faces charges tonight after police say he put 3 children in danger. Timothy Yeager was arrested this weekend.
Police tell us that Yeager was intoxicated and driving with 3 young girls in his truck. They say that 2 of those girls were in the truck bed. WKYT's Victor Puente is at the Fayette County Detention Center with more.
Timothy Yeager was scheduled to have his first court appearance, an arraignment, this afternoon. But that was pushed back after he bonded out of the Fayette County Detention Center yesterday. According to his arrest citation, Timothy Yeager was arrested Saturday afternoon after an officer spotted him speeding with 2 7-year-old girls in the bed of his truck and a 10-year-old girl in the cab with him. That officer followed him from Caden Lane to his home on Old Todd's Road. Police say he had an open bottle of spiced rum in the truck with him and had bloodshot eyes and was unsteady on his feet. They also say he failed 2 field sobriety tests and couldn't complete any others. They say his field breathalyzer test was .221, more than twice the legal limit. There was some confusion in the courtroom earlier today because of another inmate with the same name. Some court workers thought he was still on the docket. Yeager is charged with DUI, having an open alcoholic beverage in his vehicle, and 3 counts of wanton endangerment. Police say 2 of those girls are family members. Yeager's arraignment is set to take place this Friday, the 18th. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
And according to court records, Yeager was released on an unsecured third-party bond. Some new information tonight. Lexington police have released the name of the man accused of crashing his SUV into a home while drunk Sunday morning. Police say that Michael Johnson faces a long list of charges, including DUI, wanton endangerment, and assault. A man sleeping on the couch in the home's living room was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Police tell us that Johnson hit a firefighter at the scene. Johnson was arraigned in district court this afternoon.
Kentucky's Cabinet for Health and Family Services has issued penalties for companies and individuals responsible for dumping radioactive waste at a landfill. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Estill County. Several companies, many from Ohio and Kentucky, are facing massive fines after the state says they played a role in the illegal dumping of waste. Investigators say the dumping started as early as May of 2015. The state has also done more tests at the landfill. They say there is still no immediate threat to the public's health because of the dumping. There is a public meeting tonight at 7 at the Estill County High School auditorium for folks to get an update on the cleanup process. In Allen County, it has been 1 year since police say a 7-year-old girl was raped and murdered outside a high school. State police have charged 38-year-old Timothy Madden with kidnapping, rape, sodomy, and murder in connection to Gabby Doolin's death. His pretrial hearing has been rescheduled for December. While the community waits for Madden to go to trial, they are remembering Gabby. Tonight, the public is invited to a candlelight vigil at Scottsville Square at 7 p.m. Central Time. And in Hardin County, investigators are trying to figure out what caused 22 train cars to run off the tracks this weekend. The derailment happened early Saturday morning on State Road 434 near Interstate 65 in Colesburg. Police say no one was injured and no hazardous material leaked out of the cars.
Millions of Americans buy goods through online auction sites. But here's one example of a case where a woman got stuck with a fake. Marie thought it was strange when she received this package in the mail.
It was from a person that is unknown to us.
Then she opened it up and things got stranger. Inside a Rolex watch, but that was it.
No user manual, no note card, no invoice, nothing at all.
The only clues, a return address in Indiana and this eBay tracking number on the front of the envelope.
Never owned an eBay account, never bought anything on eBay.
Turns out the watch was counterfeit and Marie was caught in the middle of a scam. The watch was listed on eBay as a genuine Rolex. A man in Indiana bought it. When he realized it was fake, he sent it back to the seller hoping for a refund. But the seller had created a fake account using Marie's address in California instead of his own. So the fake watch was shipped to Marie.
This is name and address fraud.
Author and Professor Steve Weissman says this is a growing form of ID theft where criminals use someone else's address instead of their own.
Simple to get lists of people. It can be phone lists. It could be registered voter lists. This information is quite readily available on the internet.
In a statement, eBay says, quote, "These types of scams are very rare when put into the context of millions of transactions being conducted each day." And eBay says it has suspended that seller's account and says it will reimburse the buyer via eBay's money-back guarantee.
Still ahead on WKYT News, big changes are coming to Midway University, and a trustee is helping them succeed with a big gift.
I'm Bill Bryant. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray ponders the future. President-elect Trump sets up his administration and talks about whether he would try to have Hillary Clinton locked up, as many supporters called for during the campaign. The bottom line is ahead.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Mayor Jim Gray looking past his loss in the U.S. Senate race, but some are already questioning Gray's future.
And President-elect Donald Trump is working on putting his White House team together. WKYT's Bill Bryant has the details in the bottom line.
Good evening. As winners get ready to take office and losers in last week's election take stock and assess the future, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray is among those who is starting to chart what may be ahead. Gray lost the statewide U.S. Senate race to incumbent Republican Rand Paul by 14.5 points. Looking ahead, some urge Gray to look at the 6th District congressional race in 2 years, where Andy Barr has easily turned back challengers. But Gray is also eligible for re-election as mayor in 2018. And would have to make a choice because he could only be on the ballot once. Gray said on election night, "You never say never about the future." Constitutional offices like governor are up in 2019, but Republicans are expected to make a move to try to switch those to coincide with presidential elections. President-elect Donald Trump is putting his White House team together. His White House chief of staff will be Republican Party Chairman Reince Priebus, a political insider. But Trump has chosen an outsider as senior counselor, Stephen Bannon, who is the head of Breitbart News. The president-elect says he will handle the job of president for $1 a year. He told CBS's 60 Minutes that he will pass on the $400,000 annual salary. It was one of several revelations Trump made in an interview where he seemed to soften his stance on some issues. He declined to answer now whether he will follow through with campaign rhetoric to try to lock up Hillary Clinton over her email scandal.
I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. They're good people. I don't want to hurt them. And I will give you a very, very good and definitive answer the next time we do 60 Minutes together.
The question was whether he would appoint a special prosecutor. Trump also said he will appoint pro-life judges, and he said the U.S. Supreme Court has settled the gay marriage issue. The incoming Speaker of the Kentucky House, Republican Jeff Hoover, will be one of our guests on this weekend's Kentucky Newsmakers. We've also confirmed an interview with Noah White, the 19-year-old who won the most votes for the London City Council last week. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
New tonight, Midway University has received one of the largest gifts in its history.
According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, longtime trustee Jan Hunter has pledged $2 million during the next 2 years. Midway University's president says the closing of St. Catherine College in Washington County earlier this year led to a record incoming class this fall. And the school has grown from 92 student athletes in 8 sports to 260 students in 14 sports. Midway was a traditionally all-female school, recently decided to admit male students and expand its sports programs for both genders.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, today that started out with freezing temperatures, ending with some sunshine and normal early November readings out there. Basically, it's typical November, huh? Look outside. Nice sunset just a little bit ago here in Lexington. Notice a little bit of high cloud cover trying to stream on into town. Temperatures dropping quickly into the mid-50s, and it's going to be a faster drop into the 40s as we go through the next several hours. Next few hours, as a matter of fact, and upper 30s will show up by late this evening. Cloud cover eastern Kentucky much more prominent today than across parts of the Bluegrass region. Area of low pressure spinning across parts of Virginia, North Carolina, delivering some of those clouds and just teasing parts of eastern Kentucky with a little raindrop or two. High pressure on top of Nash Vegas, Tennessee. And then another little weak low pressure to our west. That one is going to try to scoot through here early tomorrow. An increase in clouds and very little in the way of moisture coming out ahead of that out of the Gulf of Mexico. So a little frost to begin your Tuesday, partly sunny into Wednesday. Hey, it's more of the same. Mix of sunny clouds, windy afternoon. Those winds are really going to crank up on Thursday, and it's a warm wind that will blow temperatures up to the 70-degree mark, and that will likely carry us into the day on Friday as well. Speaking of Friday, here's a big storm. May have blizzard conditions for the Rockies into the high plains Thursday into Friday. We're going to be on the warm side of that initially on Friday afternoon with winds that may approach 30 miles per hour at times Friday. Colder air coming back in by Saturday. That front is right on top of the area, and it is down we go with a quick drop in your thermometer. A temperature crash coming up on Saturday when winds Friday night and Saturday can approach 40 miles per hour with this strong storm system. Cold air then dives its way on in. Secondary low tries to pop to our north and northeast. So by Saturday night and into Sunday, that strong northwesterly wind flow coming across the warm Great Lakes is aimed right toward the Appalachian Mountains and into parts of central and eastern Kentucky. When I see that and that cold air coming across it, that all of a sudden says, you know what, you can get some snowflakes out of a setup like that. And that is certainly the case as we go into Saturday night and into the day on Sunday. So we may go from the 70s to some thunder and lightning at some point Friday evening, to a little rain or snow shower late Saturday into Saturday night, and some out-and-out flakes flying Saturday night into Sunday. Highs in the 30s on Sunday after we hit 70 to 75 on Friday. We have a chance at some upper teens by Monday morning. Oh yeah, we'll be talking about a wind chill this weekend too.
Oh boy. You know, my birthday just happens to be Sunday, and it's not what I asked
just for you, I'm going to try to get you a snowflake.
Oh, that is not good. Not good. Thanks, Chris.
All right.
All right, thank you, Don. Just ahead, the Cats head for New York City and the State Farm Champions Classic. Hey, Rob.
Hello, and it will be Cal's young team on the big stage. How will they respond? John Calipari, as you know, has been playing young players since he came to UK. Now it seems like a lot of teams are doing it, even Michigan State. Stay with us. Sports is next. The Wildcats traveling up to New York City tomorrow night for a meeting against Michigan State, a matchup of two teams ranked in the top 15 in the nation. The Cats are number 2 despite having another young team and starting 3 freshmen. That is nothing new since John Calipari arrival at Kentucky. But now other teams like Michigan State, Duke, and others are copying Cal's system and finding that it's not easy.
There's a lot of guys that I don't have to needle. They look at me when I walk in and I just wink. There's more than just Tom. I mean, everybody's playing young guys, and it's difficult. It's a process, and you know, you got to be patient, but you can't be patient. There are things that you got to do to challenge them to, you know, what the other coach said, get old fast.
So it'll be the first serious test of the season. Tuesday night, Michigan State in the Garden, 7 o'clock tip. It is part of the State Farm Champions Classic on ESPN. De'Aaron Fox is the SEC Freshman of the Week. Fox helped lead the Cats to opening wins over Stephen F. Austin and Canisius. He averaged 16.5 points, 7.5 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. Fox dished out 12 assists Friday night, most ever for a UK player in a debut. He's a perfect 15 for 15 from the foul line in the first 2 games of the year. Mark Stoops holding his weekly Monday news conference today, and he said there's a good chance that receiver Jeff Badette and linebacker Jordan Jones will be able to play this weekend after getting banged up down at Tennessee. Kentucky was able to move the ball up and down the field Saturday in Knoxville, but defensively, the Cats simply gave up too many explosive plays.
9 explosive plays for 272 yards. So that's not good. The flip side of that, there was 32 run plays for 104 yards. So shows that we can do some good things, and we got to get back to doing that. When you have massive breakdowns in your defense, again, it's a combination of those issues, whether it's the structure, the details, or missed tackles.
The Cats looking to be bowl eligible against winless Austin Peay in the final home game of the year. Kickoff will be at 4:30 on the SEC network. Cal hauls in another recruit. We'll have that in the next half hour. Stay with us. Much more ahead on WKYT.